Welcome, blockheads. It is December 18th, 2024. This is our last live broadcast for the year.
It is.
So happy holidays, Merry Christmas. This is going to be a fun episode for everybody. This is episode 102, Business on the Block, your insight into the digital business revolution. This week, we are going to do the roundup of our predictions that we all made back in January of this year. So we are going to walk you through 9 predictions, 3 from each of us. Whether we got them right or wrong, we'll go through it all, and we'll even show you some video clips. And so this is supposed to be, traditionally it's been in the back and forth of an engagement episode, so this will be a little different. But I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host, Michelle Peterson-Clark.
Hi, everyone.
And Mike Neubauer.
Bah humbug.
the resident Grinch.
A Grinch.
And so the premise here is we each made 3 predictions apiece back in January. We do this every year. We'll do it again in a few weeks. And so we try to predict what we expect will happen with the rolling out of the year, what we think we'll see. And this has to do with the technology, digital media, the worlds that we comment on. And then at the end of the year, we go back and take a look at those clips and say, were we right, were we wrong, how close did we get it? If not, or did we nail it? And so this will call us all out for this one. We're going to start off with clip number, comments first from my 2 colleagues here. All right. Clip number 1.
I was going to say something. I was waiting to see if Mike had a comment. I said to my husband, if he wants to hear me admit that I was wrong more times than the entirety of our 20-year marriage, he needs to watch this episode today.
Right.
I think you were pretty spot on.
Really? I don't.
No, we'll discuss it.
All right, so let's go to clip 1. Let's see what this is. Michelle, these are your predictions we're going to hear first?
We'll do number 1 of each of us.
All right, we're going to lead off with
2 of each.
Mike, you could do the intro here.
Yeah, I'll do the little emceeing because I got the list in front of me and I'm pulling the lever. So Michelle's first prediction was that Amazon would develop a blockchain / NFT solution within their marketplace. So let's see what she had to say here.
Amazon will somehow enter blockchain, whether it be a marketplace, a coin, a token, I don't know, won't be called a security, might be called a key. You never know. But I think that they are making moves behind the scene. We know that they've had blockchain developers for years now, and they've done nothing really. I think that by December 2024, they will be in Web3 blockchain, whether it be with a token where you can use that to pay for things on Amazon, or if they actually turn part of their marketplace into not an NFT marketplace, but a digital asset marketplace, something like that.
I guess you agree then.
I think it's almost a foregone conclusion that they're moving in that direction. Whether it will happen before the end of next year, I think that's a little hopeful. I mean, and it's only because the Amazon algorithm, a lot of people don't realize how insanely complex it is. It's not just listing products and selling products. It's having the ability to market and cross-promote different products to different people, segmented into various categories. It, in its own right, is its own search engine. So to integrate that to an on-chain capability, I think that's a little bit far-fetched. I know we talked very, very early on in last year, 2023, about having Amazon test the market with other chains like Avalanche. Do I see them making more of a push in that direction for the time being? Sure. There's going to be a lot of cross integration when they do deploy their own chain. But, we've seen things like Bolt TV and Bolt Plus. They've developed their own chain. It's not an overnight solution, and that's starting from scratch. Imagine if you have the entire complexities of an entire marketplace at your disposal there.
So, Mike, you do or do not believe they'll have it completed and they're in Web3 fully by the end of 2024?
Fully, I do not believe that that's the case. I do believe that they will make strides in the industry, but they will not. There will not be an Amazon blockchain by this date in 2025.
Ooh.
All right, so I'm going to take the other side of that.
I disagree with that.
I think there will be an Amazon blockchain. We know not. But as a reminder for those who didn't pay attention, back in July of 23, Amazon Web Services, I think, had rolled out tools to help people build blockchain infrastructure things. So they're in the support of blockchain business. They just don't have their own blockchain. And I think that ties in directly. I could see them rolling out an NFT marketplace or something like that for sure. I think Amazon comes out with a blockchain.
So let me ask a quick follow-up to that then.
All right, let's rub dirt in it now. So
one for Mike.
Mike gets the win on that one. I think Michelle and Mark take it on the chin. Amazon does not have a blockchain out right now, although they are still moving in that direction, but there's no NFT marketplace. And Mike, you were right. They are making the motions, but they're not delivering right now.
Well, I mean, I think that.
But are they?
Well,
they're still doing blockchain support.
They have blockchain integration with AWS, right? Like there's that kind of.
But they had that at the beginning last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm sure it advanced, but I think that one of the more recent stories that we covered is really going to put this into hyperdrive with respect to some of this quantum computing. Again, I think we're running into a scenario where the technology is sort of catching up to the need of the infrastructure. And, you know, we saw and covered different stories about building different energy sources and things like that this year. Storage and that digital file cabinet, so to speak, that's the next on the list here.
So I think that this applies to multiple companies, but basically AI hijacked the blockchain story for Amazon. I feel like they were moving that way, but now they've moved themselves into making chips, hardware, software. We've seen this. And that's going to be a repeating theme, I think. I'm guessing.
Yeah, the AI train was runaway for 2024, wasn't it?
Michelle, you did that research on this, on our topics.
And we'll talk about that when we talk about that part in our discussion.
All right, so this takes us to prediction number 2, I'm imagining, right,
So
Mike?
I was wrong for number 1.
I'll take it on the chin for that one. I was also wrong for number 1.
Yeah, I was right. No, this is now Mark's number 1 prediction. So we're going to this one.
My other predictions.
We seem to be having that problem. So let me take us through my prediction here. This might be one, Michelle, I know you're going to hate this, but the social media business model gets overturned in 2024. X introduces a decentralized Web3 business model based on subscriptions, not ads. The platform allows users to control and monetize their own data, and this gains widespread adoption and reshapes social media before December of 2024. Mic drop.
Oh God, that's awful.
You have the ability to integrate Web3 components into Twitter now, or X now, whatever it is. But I think that's a very plausible prediction. Whether it's a subscription base that is relative on chain, that's up for debate. But I would almost consider, sort of a lump sum one-time membership fee in the form of an NFT. That would actually drive a ton of revenue in and prove a few different models on the front end of that. Whether he does that or not, I don't know.
Oh, for sure. I just don't think he can pull all that off by the end of next year with it actually having people use it besides him and 10 of his friends with the election and stuff. I think that they're going to get too caught up with the fake news, right wing, left wing, like all of that stuff, I think is going to detract from him being able to. He might start rolling out a model like that, but not be able to complete that by the end of the year.
So in the United
Hey, can I throw in a bonus prediction based on this? I think Linda Yaccarino's gone by Q1.
I take the other side of that. She'd have been gone already. I think she's hitched to him because this is an all or nothing for her, right? He's a rocket ship or he's her debt. She's still there.
Unintended, I guess.
I know. If he makes this all work, she's a superhero. All right. Well, Linda Yaccarino is still the CEO of X right now.
She is. Mind you, she's been very quiet, hasn't she? No longer does she do the conferences and live interviews where he can tweet opposite her in real time.
I think they're trying to get a handle on that whole thing. But yeah, she's definitely still there.
That's like a point for you.
It's like a what?
He wants to award me half a point. I'll take it up. That's a yes. That's a true false. She's either there or she's not. She's there.
But that wasn't even the prediction. That was a bonus
No.
prediction.
That's right.
That's true.
That was a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so the
shot
prediction of
myself in the foot for that one.
X being Web 3, it is not right now. None of what I predicted came to pass on that. Although I still would love to see it, and I still think he's going that way. But
Well,
not
he's too busy catching rockets with chopsticks. So
It was a bit busy.
back on Wall Street. If you're right but you're early, you're still wrong. So that's wrong.
I should have predicted that we were still going to call it Twitter by the end of the year.
I call it X. It is actually technically X. All right, so that Mike, you got a 1 on that one.
I mean, I didn't necessarily completely disagree with you, but since I'm giving you a half a point for the sub prediction, I'm giving myself a half a point.
Mike 0, Mark 0.
What did I say? I said I don't think he can pull that off, didn't I?
No,
Isn't that a one
you get
for
a
me?
point on that, Michelle. That's a win for you. You said no.
Which is crazy to me because you didn't think he was going to be able to do that, but you thought Amazon was going to be able to build a token and their own blockchain.
Yeah, but don't forget, they've had blockchain people for like 3 years. I figured that they were actually working.
Yeah.
First
Maybe.
prediction, Mike gets a win. Michelle and Mark 0s. Second prediction, Mark and Mike 0s. Michelle gets the win.
I got the scoreboard.
Oh, good. Okay. Third prediction. Take us away, Mike.
All right. So this one is, I guess, my first prediction, which is that AI controversies, how many AI controversies are to come. So let me pull that one up.
I feel like this was a gimme. I mean, I feel like humans are going to breathe air.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, so with everything and the circus that is on the horizon for the rest of this year, with the election here in the States and with everything going on, how many controversial stories are we going to have to report on involving AI? And I want a number. I'm gonna give you guys my number, and then you can weigh in or weigh out.
Are we
So-
talking AI big stories like Sports Illustrated CEO gets fired?
Big enough for us to talk about on the show, right? So we do 50 episodes. How many of the 50 episodes will contain controversial stories involving AI, like FTX style, Sports Illustrated style, like those types of initiatives that we debate back and forth for a full segment? I'm going to go ahead let's just say there's 50 episodes, one for each week, 52 weeks, take a couple weeks off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that there's going to be 37 times we discuss controversies on AI.
I take the under, but I'm going to say probably more, 15 to 20. But you're right.
Really? I was going to say 48. Sorts of things. I reckon 40.
40. Wow. That's almost every episode.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have that many.
in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, every episode we've talked about AI. That's 100% of the last whatever.
In this little narrow band of what we're talking about, I'm going to say copyright. Legal copywriting is going to be what we'll be talking about, I expect. But not, I don't think so much that there's going to be, like the Sports Illustrated and FTX level of disaster is going to become accepted as that's the business, which is maybe a sad statement.
So the reason why I think 40 is because I think that there will be more than just ChatGTP OpenAI to talk about next year, but that is preempting one of my other predictions.
We seem to be having that problem. All right, that's interesting. How do we score that one, Mike?
I don't know. I had a side bet on how many times Michelle was going to call it Chat GTP.
Yeah. I did not do the research on that. However, I did go through every episode and write down how many times we talked about AI. So we actually only did 40 episodes, not 50. So what I did was I decreased our predictions by 10 to compensate for the fact that we did 40 and not 50. So that meant my number was 30. Mike's number was 27, and yours was 5 to 10, Mark. And out of the 40 episodes, 35 of them, we spoke about an AI story.
You know what the
Or
killer
two.
from
Some of them, some episodes 80 and episode 81, we did 4 AI stories per show. That was 8 in 2 weeks.
that was the news though back this
Of
2024
course.
was and we didn't even do product rollouts.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. If we'd announced that, it would have been 20 every week.
I mean,
Because at one point it was like 1,000 new AI apps a week or something ridiculous.
the sad part is I take a hickey on this one. Meanwhile, I came up with a lot of these run of shows.
Yeah.
Fuck, I
You're
should have
the one that
manipulated the
picks
data.
them.
Well, I feel like knocking off 10 just because there was 10 less episodes, that doesn't really correlate with the ratio. But you also sort of undercutted me last year on the prediction, Michelle, with, you know, the Price is Right model. I mean, I guessed 37, you guessed 40. So, you know, I needed that to be within 3 cents in order to even have a chance. But Mark, man, 15, dude. 15.
Yeah, I underestimated how I thought AI was going to be
5 to 10, he said. But yeah, 15. Well,
AI. I expected the legal disaster that it became. Right, there's still right now. There's lawsuits going on from scraping, but I didn't expect all the other additional. Like AI became, it destroyed Hollywood. It's the back end of not just copyright.
music industry.
Right. So that I didn't anticipate the scale of the impact. But I mean, the reality is it's affected literally every corner of business within this last year. Because in 2023, remember, ChatGPT comes out in November of 22. But in 23, it was fascinating, but it wasn't every corner of business.
No.
In 2024, it was literally, there's no business untouched. So yeah, it was the scale of it. And go ahead.
I was going to say I should have stuck with my 48. I mean, mind you, episodes 80 and 81 were those episodes where we talked about George Carlin, if people remember that. And, you know, the ABBA and that's when the music industry or, you know, like the TV
Kiss avatars
music. Yeah, the Avatar stuff was really prevalent during that sort of 4 week.
I remember
it. Yeah, so interesting. Really,
you're kind of right with the copyright component then.
So do I get a win on that?
No.
No, because you said 15 to 20.
Damn you.
You were way off.
So then, Mike, out of you and Michelle, who gets the win on this?
Michelle gets the win.
All right. Awesome.
See, I told you you prepped John just to watch the show, but you're just gonna at the end say I was right and won anyway.
All right, Michelle's leading the pack right now, Mike. Let's go to prediction number 4. What's this one now? Give us a little context.
This one would be for Michelle. Back to Michelle's prediction.
All right.
The iPhone wallet. iPhone having a wallet in September. By September
release
of this year.
I'm having trouble downloading mine.
We'll see. I don't have Apple, so.
Prediction number 2 out of Michelle.
Prediction number 2 is the September release of the iPhone will have a wallet on it that is for blockchain.
Built in.
Yes.
Interesting. Mike, what do you think?
I feel like they would have that would have leaked by now if that was the case. But I'm not dismissing it as a possibility. I mean, you know, we've been harping on that for quite some time now, and I think that's the next logical step in this whole equation.
It's time.
Will it happen on a mobile device before it happens on a computer device? That I guess is the bigger question here. So, you know, we obviously didn't see anything transpire like Black Friday or any of that stuff. So it's going to be that's an interesting prediction. I'm going to go ahead and say that it is not an official piece of the hardware, meaning like a custodial wallet does not come with each device, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's an integrated application that people could simply download and it gives them one right then and there.
I'm with Mike on this. I think that it's the beginnings of, but I don't think the demand is there yet. Although I'd love to see it, and I'm with you, Michelle. I feel like it's definitely time, but there's not the public demand right now for the.
Well,
Interesting. All right.
So I was wrong about that.
I think Mark and I both get the check on that one.
You do.
But I feel like we missed a really, really important opportunity at the beginning of this year, and maybe we undervalued what AI integration would look like as compared to things like blockchain. I'm sitting here watching these things and trying to remember where my train of thought was only a year ago, which feels like forever ago. But I'm sitting here, understanding obviously where the world is today with technology and the advancements with AI and everything. And literally everything we're talking about with these blockchain predictions and some of these things that we're discussing, everything is relative to AI now, right? Like everything we discussed with Apple, AI integrated with Apple right away. Amazon integrated with AI. I mean, all of these different pieces that we predicted having blockchain or NFT solutions for in a short period of time. We should have just edited out and just said AI and we'd all be a winner.
AI was an easier substitution for the big companies to make quick money versus the integration of a back end anything. Infrastructure is never the first play for these companies. And that was why AI became the quick supplant of blockchain. Not that blockchain is going away, but the companies turned to it first.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think, Mike, this touches, we started that earlier with this conversation. AI has superseded blockchain in the world of business right now. I still think blockchain is coming. The evolution is just slower. Because the AI thing, I can make money immediately.
Yes.
Well, I mean, again, it's the aesthetics of the Ferrari versus how it runs.
Yes.
Right. And I think
but that's what people buy.
Yeah, well, I think people are still sort of mesmerized by the new shiny object as opposed to figuring out how to make it, scalable and make it work.
Do something proper, like useful. Because there was a lot of non-useful AI crap that came out this year. Let's be honest.
Although I did like the AI grandmother that wastes the time of the fraudulent scammers.
Yeah.
Well, we have AI only fans that are making millions of bucks, so.
So we call that one. That wasn't one of the predictions, but I mean, that was an easy one to see.
Yeah. I mean, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? That's the only things that make money in bad times.
All right.
I read something the other day that though they didn't name who the celebrity was, but asked that, the Instagram girl that's not real, asked her out like in her DMs and like.
Icona. Yeah, I remember this.
It was Diddy.
There's a bunch of them now. All right, in the interest of managing the clock, we got to get to number 6 here soon. So let's hit number 5 and see what this is. Mike, if you could give us a little context on what the 5th prediction is about.
Yeah, so this one is yours, and your infinite prediction about China and their CBDC.
This is numbers day, huh? Prediction number 2 is introduction of blockchain currency by a major economy. I'm calling for China to release a blockchain-based digital currency for everyday transactions. The Chinese CBDC will spark a recalibration of the global financial system, and this will become a counterbalance to the U.S. dollar dominance. How about that? Chinese.
The U.S. are in big trouble if that happens. Bye-bye.
So this is, I don't know that the U.S. is in trouble, not because I'm American, but because I think people are nervous about a Chinese communist-run CBDC. But I do think there's a competitor to the dollar in the world. It's not digital yet, and it wants to be.
I don't know if on-chain is the answer to that. Mostly because, you're dealing with a communist regime, right? So, the transparency initiative is not appealing to them. They obviously want to be able to do things without public scrutiny or without people, wanting to do that. But I will tell you this, if you are right, then Michelle's prediction earlier about, Apple coming out with the hardware, I mean, that's almost a sure thing.
So they have not released the digital currency yet over in China, but they are moving lock, stock, and barrel towards this thing hardcore. They're working to be the first central bank to have one of these. There's also none of the political obstruction, let's call it, that you're having here in the States. And by the way, I'll take a loss on that. Like either it is or it isn't. They didn't roll it out, so that's that. But the reality is that's still something to keep an eye on.
We have some reactions to your prediction.
Commentary.
Let's see what we had to chime in with.
Oop, no sound.
What happened? No sound?
Yeah, it wasn't coming through on the
We
sound.
couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it. There was sound though.
Let's try
Again,
that.
Try again.
at this point, right? It's not about who can be, first anymore. It's about who can, be first and then outdo the first place person. So yeah, I think that Google, if they're going to, have a dog in this fight still, they're going to perfect their systems the best possible way they could. They're going to leverage existing systems in order to help expedite that process, just by feeding it whatever information they can. Even perhaps figuring out strategies on blocking ChatGPT bots from acquiring information.
I think this is the
I
wrong
don't think
one.
that's the right one. No.
No, let's go with this one.
So for the record, Jamal's leaving some comments here. Jamal, we appreciate your support as always.
They're pretty close.
Well, I mean, here's a better way to ask your question, I suppose. Will a version of something like ChatGPT be able to update itself with a new version
I do think so.
in the next
That's not
12
the right
months?
clip
Okay,
either.
these are clearly not labeled correctly.
That's right.
So, comments with respect to China. I mean, I'm glad they haven't. I don't see them doing it faster than anybody else at this point. I think with the results of the election, I'm not saying the U.S. is moving in that direction and will be the first, but they're definitely back on the radar as a potential for it. So I think that at some point, will a country migrate their entire currency and economics onto a chain and have a digital coin? Man, there needs to be a lot of technology in place for that to happen. And I just, I find it going to be very difficult. When you have people that still need to pay for a living that don't have the technology means available to them.
Right, but Mike, this is not a government that cares.
Well, I mean, at some point, if there's people who cannot transact in the ecosystem or the economy of the country, then what?
Right. I agree. I agree with you. And I'm also glad it hasn't happened. But I think that they are incentivized. They've got the means, the ability, and the motive to do it. And they're not the Reserve Bank of the world that they got to worry. If they get it wrong, they can fix it. It's not disastrous on the level of it would be if it's the United States gets it wrong. And by the way, all this free market research is happening as we speak. All of Wall Street's watching what's happening with this thing. Thoughts on this, Michelle?
Sorry about that, Mike. I don't know. I was just re-looking at them and I thought they were all right, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that I said I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with
I
you.
remember now.
All right, so I'll take a loss on that one. That's going to be a Michelle yes, a Mike. Mike, you said no, right? You thought there wouldn't be.
Yeah, I didn't think there would be.
All right, you guys both get a win on that. Let's go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's move it along.
Okay, so this one is regarding the layer 2 chains. This is my second prediction on whether it would be a go for specific functions and different applications for businesses.
Let's see. Prediction number 2. What will the state of the NFT market be in? Will we still be calling this the crypto winter? Will it emerge a little bit from the bear status into the bull status? Like, do we have a lot to look forward to just from an NFT side of things?
We're not in a crypto winter anymore, Mike. I don't know that we can use that term when Bitcoin is going to the moon.
I'm going to hit pause right here, and I looked it up. Do you remember what going to the moon was at this time?
No, what was it?
I mean, I think it was about 45,000, maybe 50,000.
It's beyond the moon at this point. I would call it Mars.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely
it's doubled
hyperspeed.
then,
So
at least.
I don't
Yeah.
think the moon is a definitive destination right now. And
We've gone to the moon and
seeing
back.
how far this is actually going to go, but we'll
Yeah.
continue.
But time out. In my defense, I have
moon.
always maintained Bitcoin as its own thing. That thing is, I'm fully on board with where that's going to go because it's a store of wealth, not a trading vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we've made that comparison before, right? It's your savings account versus your checking account.
Yes.
So your savings account is designed to continue to grow.
Right. Well,
Higher than what
Yes, it is. But meanwhile, the
that's
deflationary
factors
thing
in.
helps Bitcoin.
Yes.
I'm
Then
sorry,
other
the
questions, I mean,
inflationary thing.
what is it? Early Q2, Bitcoin is having.
Yep.
So, we could see an increase in, the price then, who knows, but will that have a direct impact on the NFT market? Will we see more projects emerge? Will we see more corporate projects emerge? My prediction, and then to arm wrestle it after, we're going to see a lot more level 2 collections out there. I also predict that some of these older collections that were built on Ethereum in the before time, those are going to get scooped up and acquired.
Okay.
I feel that Bitcoin is the story as it's a Wall Street finance thing. I don't think it's an NFT thing, meaning that as Bitcoin goes, so will financial Wall Street, big money go, the banking system. I don't think the NFTs, although I completely see how they're connected, right? Especially in the ordinals level. I do think that NFT market starts to make a comeback, and I don't think it's going to be directly because of the Bitcoin halving is going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to spark NFTs
Currently.
Michelle, NFT market makes a comeback in 24. What do you think?
I think that I agree with part of what Mike said. I think the number of NFT marketplaces, I know a number of them whose funding runs out. If it didn't run out in December, it runs out in the next couple of months. And I think the number of NFT marketplaces, they might still be sitting there, but they will just be not involved in anything anymore because the founders have run out of money and that's it. There'll be no innovation in them and stuff. So I think the players in that part of the market will reduce. So, you might have OpenSea and Blur might still be there and, XYZ or whatever the other one is. But all of these other little ones that people started, I think are in big trouble. So from that point of view, I think that the marketplaces themselves will be significantly reduced by December next year. In terms of NFTs and things like that, I like what you said.
Right. Interesting.
Yes.
I think that, Mike, you're right. It will grow, the NFT market. I just don't think people will notice it's happening. All right.
I kind of stand by that. NFT marketplaces have not gone haywire. There's more companies doing smaller projects for sure, but the Bitcoin thing is a totally separate dynamic.
Well, it's separate, but it's connected. I mean, again, I've always stated that as Bitcoin goes, so does the rest of a lot of these coins, including Ethereum, right? I mean, there are interrelated peaks and valleys with respect to both of those respective chains. Very rarely do they move independently from each other. However, I think that I was definitely wrong in that prediction for a couple reasons. One, I'm seeing that more on the developer side, some of those no-code solution, smart contract type entities, they're disappearing quick, which is therefore reducing the amount of, I guess, new projects that are accessible to people. I don't really see the same style of enthusiasm as we did, for example, with Starbucks and the Odyssey program. We really haven't seen anything like that emerge as sort of a tokenized system. So I would actually chalk myself up as sort of a failure on that one. I just wasn't accurate in predicting that the NFT marketplace would have that potential bounce back.
Yeah, Starbucks.
Sorry,
please.
John.
No.
And I think too that, the number of NFT marketplaces has definitely reduced. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago we said that Known Origin announced they were closing down by the end of the year. I know that, there's a couple of others, even some projects that I've worked on are not there anymore. I think some of the smaller ones that had small teams, that they might actually still be sitting there, but they're not really doing anything. They might do $50 a month in volume or something. So from that point of view, I think that I was right in that prediction part of it. I think the other thing too, in response to what you just said, Mike, is that once again, back to the AI, everyone this year, they took their eyes off of the NFT blockchain thing because they were like, oh my goodness, we've now got to do an AI strategy quick. And so that was, I think that's
To
one
your
of the
point,
reasons
Michelle,
for that.
AI stole the money, the marketing, and the coders, like the talent.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's a lot of those projects are still around. The only thing that's doing anything of interesting, the pulse right now that's still beating for NFT world is in the crypto gaming side of things. The game,
Yeah.
that's starting to bubble
games.
up now. You're seeing crypto games come making a small bit of motion, but the Bitcoin argument, Mike, I would still stand by. That is a finance Wall Street discussion about money and the flows of institutional investing, not NFTs. Meaning not corporate companies launching things.
And look, I agree with you that they're separate from that regard, but the vehicle to move on some of these different tokenized reward systems or engagement strategies, revenue generating marketing tools,
Still an opportunity.
It's still an opportunity, whether it's on Ethereum or a layer 2 of Ethereum, because that's really where you can build your own projects and your own smart contracts. But that still rides the same wave of success as Bitcoin.
Right.
Jamal asks in the chat, like, are you guys ever going to see a utility for Bitcoin? I think the long answer is yes. But I think, in the short time, it's still very much just a supply and demand vehicle.
Yes.
We have
I
the
agree with that.
supply.
I'm going to take the other side of this, Mike. We're not going to see a really relevant utility in Bitcoin because that is not Bitcoin's purpose. The function Bitcoin serves has got to do with storing of wealth and passing of money. Nothing to do with there's no currency aspect in Bitcoin that's can't be solved by a better vehicle.
Can I sell a house for Bitcoin?
I mean, Ethereum's a better version of Bitcoin in that regard. Bitcoin
but
Cash.
I can sell a house for Bitcoin.
There's
a value with Bitcoin that I can sell it. So therefore, it's a utility that I can use as a vehicle to either sell or obtain a product or a service.
I'm going to connect this back and go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say, but if you think about, there was a big flurry around ordinals early in 2024 when they came out for Bitcoin but that kind of after the euphoria of that, a month or two later, it was sort of died down, didn't it? And once again, got run over by the AI train. But, there hasn't been anything else after that people have attempted to do Bitcoin utility,
You want a better prediction? This is another one maybe for next year. Bitcoin will continue to move higher so long as the US dollar continues to be inflated. And so eventually Bitcoin becomes so pricey, it's not even worth using it. You'd have to use Satoshis. So you're better off just going to a different, and you pointed out early on, Mike, the chains themselves are going to become specific to function out. The same with these tokens and coins. Bitcoin's purpose.
A token is nothing more than an extension off of a chain.
Right. It's an out of place coin, if you will. My point is, I don't think Bitcoin is going to be used for that.
But you see, here's where I disagree in the regard of the US dollar and the inflation. I did not see Bitcoin spike during the inflationary periods of the US dollar. I saw it spike when there was more of a stabilization on the horizon. And there was more of let's just say, a crypto-friendly prediction happening over the next 2 to 4 years. And that's when we started to see it really grow. I also feel that in a better economy, people have more money at their disposal to invest into opportunities or risks or investments, something like a Bitcoin, potentially something like an NFT. When the economy was gangbusters, that's when the NFT market was on the up, right? You have a lot of people with, disposable income. They're not scraping by, trying to save up for their trips to the grocery store. And that all is counter to the inflationary cycle that we've seen over the last 4 years, at least on this side of the pond.
I've been pretty consistent in that the inflation is what makes the Bitcoin value. And I think we ain't seen nothing yet with Bitcoin's value because of the inflation. And I also would equate it to the way big institutions make their money in real estate from rental money, not from flipping houses. Bitcoin is the same thing. It's not from currency and investing. It's going to be just a place to put your money. We'll see.
Well, it's a savings account, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you make money in Bitcoin. Again, this is not financial advice, but like, you know, the model that they always provide to you is like, you know, you can play the market on when Bitcoin goes down in order to make your purchase, or you can be consistent about, you know, investing into it on a month-to-month basis, a couple $100, whatever it is. And you see sort of a residual result over a period of time in a hockey stick of the value of your portfolio. By that consistent investment versus trying to play the dollar value of when Bitcoin goes up or down. It's just too volatile to make that prediction.
The other thing is the same way people don't own the companies when they buy the stock, like they'll buy a mutual fund of those portfolio of those companies, but they don't actually own the stock. They own a mutual fund of it. Same thing, these Bitcoin derivatives, people aren't going to really own Bitcoin. The 90% of these people aren't going to actually have Bitcoin itself, BTC, in their wallet.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving this along.
Yeah, let's keep moving it along. So
wait, what's our scoring on that? Mike, that was a 0 for you, my friend. Sorry. Michelle.
0 for me.
I'm going to give myself a score on that one. I like doing that. I'm not sure about Michelle here.
I get a yes.
We'll give a yes.
That there'd be less number of places, and
she's leading us here, Mike. We got to do something about this.
I wouldn't give it to her, but if she wanted it, fine.
Oh, okay. All right then. No, right. Okay. Do you disagree that there's less NFT marketplaces? Because that kind of was my answer.
Yeah,
I know, but I don't think that was the prediction. I don't think the marketplace was the actual prediction model. And I think the marketplace is merely a projection of any project that's on chain. But without the projects, then the marketplaces are irrelevant regardless.
Okay. All right. I'm happy.
I gave it to you.
Have
it's
a
fine.
0 then. No.
Prediction number 7. Give us some context.
All right. So this is Michelle's third prediction. And this is the competitor to OpenAI arising out of the ashes like a phoenix rising from death.
Okay. Drum roll. I think that there will be as good, if not better, competitor to AI come out. And that's why I predicted 40 stories of AI for this year.
You're talking about OpenAI, a competitor to them?
And a competitor for OpenAI, yeah.
I mean, that would behoove the world. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, I think there's just too much money that we saw is in play with this industry for bigger players like Amazon and Google to not pull full force efforts in developing that. And again, it's a race at this point, right? It's not about who can be, first anymore. It's about who can, be first and then outdo the first place person. So yeah, I think that Google, if they're going to, have a dog in this fight still, they're going to perfect their systems the best possible way they could. They're going to leverage existing systems in order to help expedite that process, just by feeding it whatever information they can. Even perhaps figuring out strategies on blocking ChatGPT bots from acquiring information from Google sources. I mean, that's the cyber warfare that we may see between these companies. And that's very possible, by the way. If ChatGPT can't tap into Google because Google has their own version, ChatGPT is in trouble, right? What are they going to rely on? They're going to rely on Bing?
So I think we have seen competitors to OpenAI, right? Claude right now is killing it.
No one's bigger though. So
no one's bigger.
Wrong. I was definitely wrong about.
But time out. Back when George Washington was black, there really weren't.
I gave everybody a check mark on this one because all we said was a competitor would emerge, and the reality is that everybody became a competitor to OpenAI in their own way.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, but some are legit. I don't know that Grok is really a competitor to OpenAI, but Claude definitely is.
I said bigger and better, and there hasn't been anyone that's bigger or better.
That's true. Gold standard. They're still the category king. I agree with that. All right. So then that's that. That's a negative.
I was wrong.
What? Hold on. Is this being recorded?
No. Again, bigger or better. I mean, I don't think I think the premise of the prediction, and again, it's your prediction. What am I to say it? But I interpreted it as, you were going to have somebody sort of on the same playing field as them.
Well, that's true.
And I think that was a foregone prediction. But the rat ran out to race way too fast for OpenAI to have anybody catch up in only a year's time.
I agree. And with Microsoft's money, they're able to keep that gap.
I mean, and it wasn't just Microsoft's money, was it? Like, I mean, every
$100
3 or
billion.
4 weeks, every
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks, they were announcing another unbelievable amount of money that had been siphoned into, put into them,
Well,
even though they were spending, what was it? $1 billion, $7 billion a month, or
Yes.
like something ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, but then the following week they were making $8 billion, so it didn't matter.
But they're in the middle of their 12 days of consistent releases, right? The 12 days of Christmas, whatever the heck they're doing over there. That's so, yeah, they're still running gangbusters. They got plenty of money and plenty of firepower.
All right. Mark's third prediction: OpenAI achieves AGI. Let's see what that has to say.
My third prediction here. This is my nuclear bomb drop here for you guys. OpenAI.
Okay. I'm ready.
OpenAI officially achieves artificial general intelligence. AGI officially surpasses human intellect. This sparks AI regulation in the US. The world enters a new era of post-labor economy, and the concept of a career is gone.
In 1 year? Are you insane?
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about the two-star thing. I think they got something in there. Something's brewing and we don't know about.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I kind of hope I'm wrong on this, but I mean, is AGI not their sole goal?
Oh, God.
No, that's a real question. Like, that's the whole reason that company exists. And Sam,
I mean, a concept of a career is definitely gone, guys. The labor theory of money can't hold a candle. I don't know that they have AGI. I'm going to take that as a hickey and say, like, yes, they did not achieve AGI. However, their average model is now PhD level. Like, I was off, so the timing is wrong. But they're going to have that soon. Super level intelligence, you could argue that.
They're close.
Well, with the supercomputer, the quantum computer, who knows how fast that occurs. But there was also rumors that we covered at one of the episodes that they did achieve AGI. They're just not sort of letting it out yet. Again, I'm giving it to Michelle for just the pod bay door, and calling you insane for predicting that in the span of a year. So as far as what they've been able to accomplish, obviously we haven't seen much advancements with just overall Chat GPT in and of itself, right?
Hold on a second. Dude, the new models are outrageous. I'm not arguing AGI, but like we've definitely seen advancement.
We haven't seen advancements at the speeds as soon, like between ChatGPT 1 and 4, or 1 and 3, between 3 and 4. I mean, there's a lot more integratable apps that they've introduced. Whether it's faster or more precise. I mean, the jury's still out on that one.
I don't have the technical proficiency to pass judgment on this, but the models that they were running at the beginning of the year versus the exact same models running today run way significantly better. And I know that from just using it as a content creator.
But didn't they? Sorry, I was going to say, didn't we also do a story about the fact that people were underwhelmed by the 4 to 4.0 or 0 or
4.0.
4.0. They didn't, people started to expect quantum leaps for every release.
Yep.
And then when there was only a few things for that step, people were a bit like, oh, that's not as good as I thought it was going to be. So I think that happened too.
You can Google it right now. Has OpenAI achieved AGI? No, OpenAI has not achieved AGI. So that's the answer.
They've tried.
I still fear it, and I definitely think there's something going on inside that company, but whatever. There's been all kinds of whistleblowers who say they had to pull plugs and shut models down. That type of stuff makes me think there's more going on than we know. But this isn't conspiracy theory yet. I don't have my hat on.
No.
I think eventually they're going to have something to say, and at that point it'll be interesting. But yes, I take this one as a loss.
I think that it's a good 2025 prediction, but it wasn't for this year.
All right.
Mike.
All right, jumping into the final one, I guess. This is my prediction, my final prediction, and I guess what we're going to sort of end our conversation with today. The death of Threads. Is it true or is it not?
Saves this for last.
Fine. So just by virtue of the fact that I can disagree with that, I'm going to.
Well, good, because my next one has it's going to give you a little bit of a noodle scratch if you want to disagree or not.
Let's
Threads
see what
is dead.
What is it?
Threads is dead.
Threads.
Dead. We will
No.
not have any.
No way.
Is it dead
We
in
will
that
not
they
have
go
any
on it,
progress
or is it dead that they
of
actually pull
Threads.
the app?
No, meaning like it's just going to sit there dormant. People are going to use it, but there's going to be zero business that is generated from that. There's going to be zero news stories that arise from it other than the fact that it's done nothing. This is a dead duck sitting in the water.
Okay,
No,
Michelle.
disagree with that 100%.
How come?
Disagree. I reckon by the end of maybe sometime in Q2, they'll come out with an API. All of the social media platform softwares will be able to link to it. People will be able to start automating their content onto it, which at the moment is probably one of the biggest barriers to entry for people to use it, in terms of, having to go on.
All right. Let's talk about this. This is interesting. Can I share a screen for a second? I don't think that was a yes.
I've got the story. Have you got the story?
This is the current from Exploding Topics. This is the Threads users information. So
Not true.
Oh, that's awesome. Threads is still around.
Share that, Mike, in the Discord. I did share it the other day, but the
you mean the article that Mark Zuckerberg put out? Yeah,
2 days ago. Oh, come on, come on, you got to put it up.
I'm not putting anything up.
Right,
look,
that's it. I'm
in
sharing
a world
my
where we
screen,
live
and I'm
again
gonna
with
do
these
it.
bots and these apps, like I don't believe any of these numbers, man. Like there's zero traction on that platform. It's impossible that it's not like any integration with a Facebook pixel will calculate as a user engagement. And I think those numbers are very skewed. And again, like there's zero engagement happening on that platform. So in a way, it is dead. There's nothing occurring. It's not making money. It's not doing anything other than inflating numbers. So I'm giving myself a correct prediction, damn it.
No.
There's no way you can argue it's
coming
dead.
up. Can you see my screen?
No.
Mark, you've got to put that screen up on stage. So this is the story. Come on.
Mark Zuckerberg says is the first 3 words in that title, and you're going to believe it? Give me a break.
Oh, come on.
All right, so here's the thing. You can't argue it's dead, Mike, because it's definitely not gotten the traction, and there was initial hype when it came out. I agree with that. But it's definitely still around. And I'm not a humongous fan of it. I'm just saying, like, as a competitive platform, Blue Sky is coming on strong.
I think we said it was going to be around, but again, it wasn't going to go anywhere. It would remain a dead duck floating in the water, I believe is exactly what I said.
I did say Q2 the API would be released, and it was June 18, in fact, that the API for Threads was released. So I definitely got a tick for that.
Well, you also said that that's what was going to make it go to the moon, right? And, I guess 4 more users signed up.
Used those words.
I don't know that I can call it dead, but honestly, I think I have to side with Michelle on this. Although, Mike, I think you've been great on a lot of these predictions, and I'm no fan of Threads. I don't. Zuckerberg, I trust him as far as I can throw Sam Altman. But the reality is it's still around and people are trying to build on it right now.
All right. Well, while I have my
100 active daily viewers.
Whatever.
Users.
While I have my mini me, I'll share one of the the bonus clips here.
Clip? Yeah.
So this is you a year ago.
Yeah, that's me ago.
Yeah, you want to see?
Wow.
Reach. Michelle, if I could ask you to kick us off, what are your 3 predictions again, just a quick recap?
So Amazon. No, wrong one, Mike. It's got to be the one that says nice, cute clip or something. Asset
That's
thing.
me, and that's
iPhone
me.
wallet. It's the one that says cute clip. Yeah, that one.
She's adorable. Yeah, swap out a son for this.
Oh, no,
Ask Mike's
that's not the
daughter
one
what
either.
she thinks because she's
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
there you go.
Yeah. Look, you're gonna talk.
She'll know more about AGI than we will. Hey.
Hi. You say hi to all of Daddy's friends.
Yeah. Hi.
All right, Mike.
Hi.
What do you think about
You wanna talk to yourself in the past?
Yeah.
Or are you going to live to see 5 years old?
Happy to. I might make donut and cupcake.
She wants to make donuts and cupcakes. All right, so AI can't do that yet.
Yeah.
And a year later, AI can still not do that.
Can't make waffles.
No.
It's becoming the app that makes waffles. however.
Hi.
Hello.
Say happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.
Holidays to you.
We finally know where Mike gets all of his information from, because clearly it's not from him.
No, it's not from me.
That's
This is
awesome.
my prediction.
So let's
are
head
you
up to
gonna-
Tally
Are you
here.
going to play the other clip, Mike? Just
Well, this
because
is the best prediction of the year,
This is
right?
the best one. Yeah, this is the
Yeah,
best one.
I think
Just
this
for
one.
you,
This
I
one
did
gives
this
me the
one.
crown of victory
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
regardless.
absolutely.
Ready?
Look, can it run for president? Because if the choice is between Chat GTP and the Donald, I'm voting for Chat GPT.
Trump
I
2024.
mean, honestly, I feel like AI is at the
I
point now.
can't talk to you again, Mike.
That sums up the show right there, by the way. That's great.
Yep.
Well, technically, Mike, he's technically not president right now, so I got to give it to Michelle.
He's president-elect.
Oh
But-
God!
By my
Okay,
rough numbers,
we should predict how many times we're going to talk about Donald Trump in 2025.
by my rough
How many
numbers,
episodes?
I go through these 9 predictions. I see Mike got 5 correct. I go through
Yep.
these 9 predictions. I see Michelle got 6 correct.
Well, wait a
And
minute. I didn't tally up my Trump predictions, so there's 6.
We never made a Trump prediction. I'm at 3 correct. So I'm leading I'm the caboose here.
Yep,
Yeah,
I got the
okay.
same score.
I didn't get any of mine correct though.
Something wrong
I
about
got
that.
you. Yeah, that's the thing. That this is like of the 3 I picked, I am 0.
So, in quick summary here for those listening still, I can't imagine who'd still be listening to this, but Michelle predicted Amazon blockchain NFT, iPhone wallet by September of 24, and that a competitor to OpenAI arises. And Michelle, you were accurately predicting none of those.
I still believe you did predict the competitor, but whatever.
Mike
Yeah,
predicted
but
the death of
it's got
Thread,
half a point for that one.
the level 2 chains gravitating to the specific functional purpose, right? That was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And AI controversies would be overwhelming. I think he gets 2 out of the 3 on those.
Yep.
And then Mark predicted
Except he didn't get the correct number. I was the winner for that.
Mark gets the X rollout to Web3, no chance. China's CBDC also doesn't happen, and OpenAI achieving AGI also did not effectively happen yet. I think I'm early
That
on
we
3
know
of that we know of. So I'll give myself a 0 on that. So that leaves, by that token, Mike got his own predictions correct. Of our self predictions, Mike wins. Of the overall, Michelle wins.
Yep.
I guess I'm buying drinks for everybody.
Nope. We're finding a replacement for you.
Great. So let's
Someone with a bit more technical knowledge, please, Mike.
I'm the guy you want on stage, believe me. So if anyone's still listening, we're taking 2 weeks off right now. Business on the Block will be back January 8th of 2025. And on January 8th next year, we are going to have our predictions for the upcoming year of 2025. We'll each make 3 predictions again. We're going to record them and stow them away, and we'll roll them out again next Christmas and see what happens. But I want to take this moment to thank everybody, most especially both of you two. It's been a really wonderful year. It's a lot of fun. Every week I look forward to catching up with you guys. I learn from you. I like to opine. The show has been wonderful, but also those who support us, the regular listeners, Jamal and the Boat team, everyone that's been there with all the questions every week in the chats. We see it all.
We do.
Yep. And
It's
same
great.
to you, man. Wish you guys all a happy holiday, all the best, happy, healthy, successful, blessed 2025. I look forward to getting back into the live streaming on Bolt. We always have a lot of fun with those folks in the chat. So I look forward to that in the beginning part of the new year. And then, of course, I look forward to retaining my title and basing on my predictions. But yeah, I mostly look forward to the controversies, the discussions, the disagreements, the agreements, the Mike is right comments. Those are always my favorite.
That hasn't happened yet.
I agree with Mike. Those are awesome. But yeah, it's always fun, guys.
Totally.
It's very good. Yes, ditto to all of that. Some weeks this has been the absolute highlight of my week, and the greatest joy that I get, because I love shooting the breeze with you two. And yeah, who knows how many things we're going to be talking about in 2025 that are unseen now. Or unthought of now. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone who listens to us. And I can't wait to see whether or not Mike actually does a conspiracy MAGA hat for next year.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
Presents.
We'll see you guys on January the 8th. Peace.
Follow us on Threads.